All right, gather around, boys and girls. Got a story about some dessert. All right. So I went to a convenience store or like a grocery store, a local one today. And when you go through the self check or go through the checkout line, there's plenty of options for desserts. And it's like just, a huge tease. You see all these desserts. And so today I saw a piece of German chocolate cake and it looked pretty good. So I went ahead and purchased it. It was $8.99 for a slice, and it was just a standard slice. It was like a thick layer cake, a sheet cake. Um, but the icing looked pretty good, right? The caramel icing with coconut, and I think it's walnut, might be pecan, not sure. Anyway, so I purchased it. I was like, damn, I couldn't believe how expensive it was. And I was like, just wait till I try it. Wait till I try it. So I got into the car, tried that sucker out, and there was a thin veneer of the actual German frosting icing, the caramel with the coconut. Yeah, and then under that was like that cheap, uh, like fluffy, whippy icing. It was chocolate though. I was just like, I couldn't believe it. And because it was just a thin veneer of the good stuff, and it should be a thick layer. Actually, it should be a double layer. Yeah, right. And so I had to go back in. I had to ask for a refund. I couldn't sit right with an $8.99 slice of cake that was a thin layer of icing, and then underneath the whipped chocolate. Oh, it's the worst. It was if you so the point is there's a few points here. Okay, a few points for my foodies. Uh, Desserts aren't what you think they are. It's easy to be deceived with a dessert, right? And also, if you're going to make, if you do cakes, or and one the weakest one, you should probably just cut it. You know what I mean? Just like don't even get that variety out. So just like save the money, and like they shouldn't even be making a German chocolate cake if they're going to be pulling that kind of stuff. A thin veneer of icing. Come on, right? But yeah, if you're making like a product and you don't make a good product of it, it's like just cut it out. Just cut it out, and stick to what you're good with. Because it looked like their carrot cake was. It looked like it was the shit. But then again, you don't know. Was that a thin layer of cream cheese icing and then the cheap fluffy stuff underneath? So that's my rant. About food. Also, I had a few experiences lately where I've been like talking to some close people, like a coworker and then a neighbor another time, and I'm trying to navigate a conversation with them, and I was kind of throwing out a low blow. I was like, we were talking, me and my coworker were talking, and I was like, yeah, so many damn people on Prozac now. It's like that's the only way you can function in this society. And he was like, yeah, I'm on Prozac. And like I was like, shit, I was like, goddamn, you know what I mean? And then another guy, we were talking about jobs, and I was like, yeah, I was like, I don't want to, but it's like maybe I'll get a job at a. I really don't want. I was like, I phrased it like, I really don't want to work at the dollar store. That's what I said, and he was like, oh, I work at the dollar store. I was like, damn. So yeah, so it's I try to navigate those conversations because I grew up in a really weird background, not like not canonical, or you know um non-normal is a little different background. So I try to navigate conversations pretty delicately because you never know what you're really going to stumble on when you're talking to people. It's like, and there's some things that you wish you didn't find out, and there's some things, some like even triggers. It's like, you really don't want to even, know that those are there. And yeah, people, you stumble on people, and maybe what you're projecting isn't correct, but anyway. So the point is, I'm able to empathize with people pretty well, and I feel like yeah, conversations are just anyway, but I kind of dropped it there. I want to get out of that situation, but yeah, it was a weird deal, the dessert thing that's going on, and then also kind of like some psychic weird thing, picking up on thoughts on a guy, on a few dudes, and it was just kind of weird. But you know, just keeping it real, and that's what fucking happens. Yeah. But what do you guys, any dessert thoughts out there?